Live from Oakland, California, it's the Ukulele Jumpstart Beginner Jam. This is every second Wednesday of the month. Thank you for joining along. We got our music right here, and we're ready to go on Just the Way You Are. So this is one of my favorite beginner songs. It's just 3 easy chords, starting with that C chord, 3rd finger, 3rd fret on the bottom. And then we go to the A minor, the middle finger on the top. And then we add the index finger on the E string. So that's the 3rd string from the top. And you might want to practice doing that index finger. And back to the C string. I like this blue screen. I'm like see-through on the Maybe I can't rock a blue screen like I thought I could, but I wanted to wear the green hat today. All right, here we go. Just the way you are. So C, we're gonna count to 8. C, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Middle finger, A, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Add the pointer, F, 2, 3, 4. Back to the C chord. And that's just how we should practice the tune. So basically, as you're going along, even though I'm going to set this loop and it's going to be the rock strum, if you already know the rock strum, down, 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 up, down, then go ahead and use that. If you know the advanced rock strum, down, 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 up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, up, down, down. Do one of those. Otherwise, just find a way to play along to the beat. And remember, always change chords every 8 beats. All right, let's give it a try. So here's a C chord. Ready, C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Middle finger, A. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Add the pointer, F. 2, 3, 4. Back to the C chord, C. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. C again, C. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A minor. F. C. Then you sing. Oh, her eyes make the stars look like they're not shining. Her hair falls perfectly without her trying. She's so beautiful, and I tell her every day. Yeah, I know, when I compliment her, she won't believe me. It's so sad to think that she don't see what I see. But every time she asks me, do I look okay? I say C chord. When I see your face, there's not a thing that I would change. 'Cause you're amazing, just the way you are. And when you smile, the whole world stops and stares for a while. 'Cause girl, you're amazing, just the way you are. The way you are. The way you are. The way you are. Girl, you're amazing, just the way you are. All right, we're going at the bottom here. When I see your face, middle finger, there's not a thing that I would change. 'Cause you're amazing. Slow it down. Just the way you are. C chord. And one time. All right, clap it up up for yourselves. Let's say hello to the Zoom room one time. Got a small but mighty crowd here in the audience. Shout out to everybody on Zoom. Woo! Thank you for tuning in on Wednesday. Good morning and cheers as well. Cheers. Now it's coffee. I have a friend who's always taunting me with a glass of wine. No wine during my jams yet, but cheers. There we go. Everybody take a sip. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, let's get back to the show over here. Thank you to my Zoom crowd for always making it fun and interesting for me. We actually have a couple of flash mobs already out. One on this song, Just the Way You Are. You can check it out on the YouTube channel. Just search Ukulenny, Just the Way You Are. You'll find it. And this next one, which we're going to do because it's a beginner jam. We always have to do this one. Stand By Me. We just released our flash mob on this as well. So 4 chords and the truth. For this one, and really this song is like an ukulele classic, I think, which is funny to say that because it's, you know, an overall classic, but you know, on the ukulele it's only these 4 easy chords that we know and love, so we always do these chords. All right, C, A minor, F, G7, and then if you follow the intro bass line, much like we did if you were watching last week, this chord progression just repeats and repeats. So you're going to want to remember 2 C's, 2 A minors, and then the hard part, 1 F, 1 G7, C, C. So before you even start the song, the F and the G7 are the hard chords to focus on. So you want to make sure that you can go very easily from F here, squeezing against that index finger, and making a G7. Now the index finger is on that E string, of course. And then we want to practice putting 2 fingers at the same time. Ring finger on the bottom, 2nd fret. Middle finger on the C string, 2nd fret. Make sure you can go from F to G7 fairly easily. We want to make that super smooth. All right, so every time you have a new song with a couple of new chords, I suggest doing this. We call this transitions on your ukulele, and every transition is really important and really valid for practice. You know, whether it's F to G7, G7 to C, which is easy in this case. You just take that ring finger and slide it back to C, and you're back to the beginning. But whatever song you're trying to study, whether it's, you know, Stand By Me or Bohemian Rhapsody, every chord change, every transition is important to practice, much like you would be as a dancer. You would practice how each pose looks before you start dancing and moving in real time. You want to get all your kind of positions down. Okay, so it's going to go like this. I'm going to do a simple down strum version. It's going to be 4 times per every highlighted chord, starting on that C chord, 4 times each. So I'm just going to give the down strum version real quick. Now I'm just pressing a lot of random buttons. All right, am I back to where I was supposed to be? Okay, C, 1, 2, ready, C. 1, 2, 3, 4, C again. 2, 3, next chord, A minor. 2, 3, 4, A again. 2, add the pointer. 1, 2, 3, G7. Back to the C. 1, 2, 3, C again. All right, so very calmly, you could get through any song that you're studying just by doing down strums, and it will sound fairly like the song. And then you add some of the fancy stuff, which in this case is that island strum. And again, I'm not going to really cover the island strum that much in our jam. It's something that you should check out on the web and kind of look for the island strum tutorial. Cynthia Lynn, shout out to my ukulele sister out there, has a really good tutorial and a lot of good tutorials on island strum. When I teach Stand By Me, I also teach a little bit of the island strum and get you into it. So check out my tutorial on Stand By Me as well. But man, there's just so much out there on YouTube. I feel like it's kind of funny me being back here on YouTube. This is where I began like 10 years ago. I was doing a lot of YouTube videos, doing that, and then I just kind of went other places, and now I come back, and YouTube is this crazy, sprawling marketplace where you can pretty much find anything you want on YouTube. So I'm just here. I'm a tourist now. Welcome back. It's like I left my home away from home and I came back, and I don't even know which bar or club to go to. Everyone's like, People talk to me about San Diego. You're from San Diego. What's cool in San Diego? I don't know. I left when I was 18. I don't know anything about San Diego now. North Park is really cool. Shout out North Park. And of course, Paradise Hills, where I grew up. All right. Let's get into it. So I'm going to do this island strum. And remember, you can always go back to down strum. And you can even do the one strum. Always an option. Here we go. C. Oh, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, C. A minor. F1 time. G7. Back to C. All right, try it all again. Try it all again. C. A minor. Let's keep it going so you get a lot of time to practice this progression. C. C again. A minor. Then the F1 time. G7 one time. Back to C. Why not, since we didn't bring our drummer in? Let's add the drums. To my friends on YouTube, I see C.A. Jones out there. I see Mary, Frank, Carol in North Vancouver. Shout out. And then we got, Victor. Always a regular here. Nice to see y'all. Of course, in the Zoom room. What's up? George and Rick just came in. Yeah. All right. When the night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light we'll see. No, I won't be afraid. No, I won't be afraid. Just as long stand by me. And darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Stand by me. If the sky that we look upon, A minor, should tumble and fall, and the mountain should crumble to the sea. I won't cry, I won't cry, no, I won't shed a tear, just as long as you stand by me. And darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Stand by me. And darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Stand by me. One time. All right, nice job, nice job. Continue with the shout out. Shout out Lorenzo in Spain and Michelle in Oregon. Also, I don't know if I shouted Karen yet over here, but cheers to my coffee drinking friends who were taking a sip earlier. And shout out to my flash mobbers. So the Stand By Me was the latest flash mob that we released, and we did it in a day. Like it was crazy because we were able to do all the work on Zoom. If you watched the Stand By Me flash mob, we recorded a video on Zoom, and then everybody sent me their audio through uploading videos that they took at the same time. So everybody had a phone on them, and everybody had their computer open. It was kind of like I imagine everybody was like in the studio with little powder, and that's eventually what it's gonna be. We're all gonna do like live tapings of our flash mobs, and it's just gonna be on the spot. That's what I'm hoping to do, and it's thanks to the great Zoom community that we've built here. That we're able to do these flash mobs. I'm still editing. Don't worry, be happy. I'm going to get it probably by Monday. And then Adam's Family. If you're working on Adam's Family, that is due on Sunday. So if you want to know more, check out my website, join the mailing list, do all the things. Go hit me up in a direct message, and I'll get you on the Ukulenny train, as it is. All right, let's do something. Let's see. Last time we did a little bit of the G chord, so I want to do some G practice, and I brought my harmonica today, so why not we do Love Me Do. Now, most of this song is just G and C, and if that's all that you get out of it, that's totally fine. Just the G and the C chord is really, I love this song because in its simplest form, that's all it is, G and C, those two magic chords, and you just go back and forth, and you can already play this song. So G chord is a little bit difficult. I always think of G as a transition from the C chord. C is very easy. C has a ring finger on the bottom 3rd fret. So the first move to memorize is the fact that you're going to switch strings from the C chord to the G. So I'm going to move my ring finger up a string, and I call that a jump. Every time we jump our fingers, we're jumping from one string to the other string. So there it is. Ring finger on C, and then jump up one string. And that's this awesome dot right here. That's where we're at right now. That's our ring finger. So now the middle finger is going to go below that on the bottom string on the 2nd fret. Should look like a diagonal line. Diagonal. Got my my football playbook right here. And then we're gonna go around and around, and I lost my highlighter. And then we're gonna go like this, and then we're gonna flank the edge right here, and we're gonna go power 90 up. I should get better at that. That would be fun if I started doing that on ukulele. That would be awesome. All right, so that's the diagonal line. And then this is the hard part. I'm going to finish the triangle with my index finger. Now, that's where people get in trouble because people are like, my index finger can't reach that part. But you just have to you got to kind of wiggle your arm around, wiggle your hand around until you can get that index finger around. The other thing I suggest is that for a G chord, there's kind of like 2 wrist positions on the ukulele. One of them, which, undoubtedly if you play C, your wrist is fairly straight. Most people play like that. But when you go to G, if you turn your wrist a little bit towards the headstock like this, you can reach those chords a little better. So one thing you don't want to do is play like I used to play the cello, and my teacher used to get on me for putting my elbow like this. So do not take your elbow this way. Like, am I doing it right, Lenny? Don't do that. Don't chicken arm, chicken leg your elbow. Is that a chicken arm? I guess it's a chicken arm. What's it? Anyway. So what you want to do is only move your wrist, which is a weird motion at first, but it's that flexibility in the wrist that allows you to hit that G chord better. Okay, so again, straight wrist. If I jump to the G, little turn of the wrist, it's a little bit easier to do. And some chords just work better that way if you move that wrist. Okay, so when you transition, you want to think about the 2 moves, right? C, jump up, make the triangle. And if you do that like 10 times in a row, slowly, you're going to get it. Now, there is a physical absolute that if you do it in 2 moves, it is definitely not the fastest way to do it. Can we all agree? Mathematically, you cannot do 2 moves and make it the fastest way. The fastest way is always 1 move. Okay, so what you want to eventually do is morph your fingers into the position. So what I think of these 3 fingers, I said this last week, as the 3 interns or the 3 inept soldiers. I like the interns. Interns metaphor is less violent. Okay, so we're gonna move the ring finger, and ring finger is like intern number one. Like ring finger's got it. Like ring finger knows exactly where to go. Okay, ring finger has multiple degrees, and it's just interning, just because they're trying to change careers, and there's no entry level positions available. So ring finger knows the program very quick. Middle finger needs a little bit of work. Middle finger doesn't really know how to make a good cup of coffee yet. You kind of got to train that middle finger. So every time I change, I'm especially thinking, where does my middle finger go? Goes on the second on the bottom. So every time I change, I'm thinking only about the middle finger, because the ring finger already knows where to go. See where this is going? It's about training fingers equally. Ring finger does not need any more of your help, but the middle finger might need more help. Now, the index finger might need the most help. Index finger, it's kind of hard to hit that C string second fret. So every time I change, I want to think, maybe I should pay more attention to the index finger. Maybe I should walk index finger to the copy machine. So there we go. Now index finger knows how to mail merge. So now we got all three fingers that know what to do. And then you just shake out your hand and say like, hey, fingers, do you know where to go? And then hopefully they know where to go by now, because you've trained each finger separately. That's the game plan for any difficult chord, is that, you have to remember where each finger has its own destiny, its own path. And you kind of have to train that in. And if it doesn't work today, just go to sleep with your ukulele under your pillow. Tomorrow you'll wake up, you'll know it. Okay, and this song is just 4 beats of G and C. We do this strum called the Kanakapila strum, or the hula strum is what I call. Almost every ukulele club has this strum, which is just a down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, C. So if you're trying, jump up, make the triangle G, back to C, jump up, make the G, then the C, and back to G. Okay, and try that a bunch of times until that's super comfortable. And if you want to go on to the D7, I'm not going to force anybody to play D7 today, but that's it right there. It looks a lot like the G. If you look at the G, we have 2 dots right here. And this D7 is the same 2 dots of the G, just switching train tracks. Just switching, jumping up to make a different chord. So you might also want to practice just switching your 2 fingers between the bottom string and the C string, and then switching rails. Just switch rails. Because, the G just has an extra finger, but ultimately when you're changing to the D7, you're going to jump those 2 fingers only. All right, so we're going to do G and C for most of it. I'm just going to DJ this. Just going to put my... Just do this live rather than sometimes I throw in the bass and do all sorts of stuff, but I got my holder today, so. All right, we'll try this. All right. So G and C, and then we're eventually going to go to this D7 at the bottom. All right. All right, so here's the G chord. Remember, jump up, make the triangle. If you ever have trouble, come out from a C chord. It's the best way to remember where all the other fingers should go, because C, we all know where that is. All right, here's the G chord. A 1, 2, 3, G. C. Back to G. Back to C. Keep going G. Love me do. Whoa, love me do. All right, try it all again. 1, 2, 3, G. Love me do. You know I love you. G and C for the little interlude. One time. All right, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification / let's go to the Zoom room. Everybody unmute your Zooms and say what's up to the cameras over on YouTube. Yes, sounding lovely today. Happy Wednesday. This, of course, is our last Wednesday event of the month. We do first and second Wednesdays every month. First Wednesday is Ukulele Jumpstart, where I go right from square one, or is that right? back from the very beginning, and teach all the hand positions and the tuning and all that stuff. And then our second Wednesday of the month, which you're at right now, is the beginner jam. So this is going to be our monthly schedule. But otherwise, our Zoom crew knows that we meet every Monday and Friday for a free ukulele workshop / jam. Monday is Monday Night Ukulele, 6 p.m. Pacific. And this upcoming Monday is the third Monday of the month, which is open mic night. So I'm excited. If you are, willing, you got that liquid courage going, feel free to come on and share a tune with us. All right, that's what Monday nights are about. Third Monday of the month for open mic night that streams on Facebook, and it's live in the Zoom room. And then of course Fridays 12 p.m. we have our Aloha Friday Jam every Friday 12 p.m. Pacific. You can also watch that on Facebook. All right. Before we go, any questions before we continue our jam? We're gonna go till about 10:45 today. Just a quick beginner jam to get that middle of the week over and done with. We're already halfway there. But any general questions about ukulele as it pertains to beginners? If this is my kind of goal with the Wednesdays, to become this forum where you can ask your questions as well. We can talk about beginner stuff, because Mondays are about flash mobs and about a little bit more advanced stuff. So we want to find a way to talk about beginner stuff. Any questions out there in the ukulele world? On YouTube as well. I'm seeing all my YouTube peoples. What's up? No, we all got it figured out, huh? Everyone's good.
Oh, hey, Lenny.
Oh yeah, sure.
Lenny?
What's up?
You talked about repositioning your hand.
Yeah.
Where do you put? How would you hold the back of the ukulele? I've heard like a C cup or something like that.
Yeah, that's a really good question. Thank you for that. So how do you hold the back of the ukulele? Yes. All right, thank you for that. I'm trying to do the DJ thing. Whoa, there's a lot of me. Whoa, I love this. I always do that every time I'm on a Google Hangout. I do the multiple. All right, so cool. So back of the ukulele. So the first thing is that there's there's a lot of different ways to hold the ukulele in terms of where the finger placement goes, right? So the first thing is there's this classical kind of hold. And this really is possible if you have a strap like this where you can elevate the ukulele, or if you simply can elevate like this and have your left hand free to move. My thumb can really float on the back, kind of like it's in a thumbs up position, and it's just kind of floating in the back of the ukulele like this, very gently. So if I'm very delicate with my ukulele, this will feel fairly comfortable. Notice if I'm holding a C and I'm very open like this, that thumb is barely doing anything. So oftentimes I'll try to relax my hand and see where does my thumb want to go for this chord. If I'm holding a G chord, I kind of shake my hand out, try to see this, and my thumb will probably relax itself somewhere around here. So I never want your thumb to be glued in a position. It's more about where can it support, where does it feel most comfortable to go with each chord, because my chording hand should be pretty fluid throughout. It shouldn't really live anywhere. Now, if it's not possible to have a strap, it's likely that you're holding with what I call the comfort hold, which is how I start my ukulele players off. I take that first knuckle of my index finger, and I put it right there, and that's where my balance is, and my fingers are free to go here. When my hand is this high up, my thumb can tend to go a little bit over the neck even. So it's not terrible that it's there. It's just that it's not as loose as it is here. It's a little bit more tight here, but out of necessity, I'm holding my ukulele very comfortably. This is how I'm going to hold. Now, what you don't want to do, absolute no-no, is to hold your ukulele like you're gripping a hammer. You never want this part of your hand is like a no-fly zone for the ukulele. Like, do not. It's like hot lava. Do not let your ukulele touch this part of your hand, if at all possible. There might be times where it might graze it. Okay, I got singed by the lava, but it's got to be open. If I can illustrate a little bit, you see how I can see the tree behind me. You see how I get blue sky in between you want to leave a little room for Jesus. you want to have that space always, because what that really tells you, it's not even just about the space, it's about wrist. So this is going back to ergonomics. Like, if you want to play ukulele, you're going to do the same chord 300 times in a row. You don't want that repetitive movement to be distress, a mode of distress on your body. So oftentimes, and I did this, on Monday, oftentimes I shake out my hand just to make sure there's no tension when I hold a chord, and see where my arm wants to go. Generally, my wrist wants to be fairly straight. So I'm holding a C chord. I'm trying to go for that alignment. If I touch this part with my ukulele, my wrist is usually going crazy. My wrist is usually up here. So I want to make sure that I drop my wrist, and that is a reflex that I'm doing every time I pick up the ukulele. I want to make sure that my wrist is very relaxed, that I'm not twerking it. Is that what the kids say? Tweaking it in one particular direction. I wanna be loose. Okay, so that's the rule of thumb. Is like, and I always go back to this shaking motion. Like, if I shake my hands out and I just say, "Give me a G7 chord," like, where do I actually want to go with it first? Because oftentimes when we're learning chords, we are struggling just to put our fingers. We're almost like taking our right hand and putting our fingers in position. That's not good, because we're forcing ourselves to do certain things that maybe we wouldn't do in a perfect situation. Yeah. Hope that helps, George. Thank you for the question. Any other questions before we rattle off a couple more tunes here? Any more? And then I'm checking YouTube. Nope. Yeah. And Mary is saying a comment about playing and singing, which I will always address, because this is the number one topic for all ukulele players. And I will just say that there's a lot of factors that people take for granted when they attempt to play and sing. One is, do you know the song well enough to sing it, if nothing else? Like, if you are on karaoke, I grew up doing the magic mic back at home in San Diego. If you're ever doing karaoke, would you be able to do the words at the right time? Would you be able to know the rhythm and how the words go? If not, then playing and singing is going to be extra hard because you not only do you not know how to coordinate your body and your singing, but you don't even know where to enter your voice. That's number one. Know the song really well, and if you're practicing playing and singing, definitely pick a song that you are super, super familiar with. And then it becomes kind of a physical, gradual merging of these two worlds. Know your strumming really well. In fact, if you're doing a strum pattern, try to make sure that you can do it very effortlessly with no chords at all. You know, see if you can have a conversation with someone while you're doing the island strum. That's the ultimate goal, is to have complete autonomy of the island strum. Now, you don't need that to practice, but you know, that is where you're going to head if you want to get better at playing and singing. Then we see if we can start to layer on some of the difficult things. So I always say, like, try the strum pattern and then say the words. When the night has come and the land is dark. If you can do it on that level, then slowly you can ease in adding the chords, which is another mode of difficulty. And then the last thing is, I try not to sing at 100% if I'm learning a tune. Oftentimes we hate the sounds, especially if you are a singer. I find that singers that are great singers have the most trouble with this because they're so fixated on sounding good. I know it sucks to sound bad when you're singing. Like, if you know you're a singer and you hit a wrong note, I know that you're like, oh, that it's like, you know, fingers on a chalkboard. But when you are trying to learn this skill, your brain cannot process all the things it takes to do singing at 100% and playing at this really high level strum pattern. You know, that's a high level functioning act that you're trying to do. And so I always say, start at 10%. Sound like you're terrible and don't give any effort to the singing, because all I'm trying to do is spit the words out. When the night has come. Okay, what's next? A. And the land is dark. Okay, F. Because your mind is going to be so many different places at once that if I'm trying to sound like Christina Aguilera, when the night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light, is like all those extra singing things. That's like brains like, I'm freaking out. There's too much. I can feel my skull rattling with the things I'm thinking about during that. So when I'm trying to merge these two skills, make sure you're doing them gradually. Singing very gradually, emphasis on the strum pattern, and then slowly those worlds will meet. And then eventually you can pour in more of your singing expertise to it. It took me a long time to actually get to be a good singer and player at the same time. I felt like I could sing well, but I never gave that extra effort to sing even more. So that's a little bit of what I work on now, is like, can I sing better now that I have the strumming down? And how do we find the right notes? Oftentimes you have to remember where it is, and if you can even find it on your ukulele, like Stand By Me, for example, it starts on the open E. When the night has come. If you can ask a musician friend, what is the starting note? If I'm playing this song, here's the chord chart. What are the notes? Find those notes, write them down, and then when you're singing, try to remember. Especially if you're like new to the singing game, like I didn't used to sing, but now that I do ukulele, I like to sing and I want to get better. Is find everybody has a range where they're uncomfortably singing low or uncomfortably singing high. You know, that's like the bounds of my singing. I know my lowest note and my highest note, and the in between is fairly comfortable. So part of your memory of knowing where the song starts is knowing how uncomfortably high or how uncomfortably low it is. I know that something like My Girl, I've got sunshine, that first note, I, is kind of in that higher range of my personal voice, where if I just go a little bit higher, I top out, and that's my range. So if I try to sing and I'm like, I've got sunshine, then I go, no, that was too easy. You know, I didn't hurt when I sang that note. So maybe I should go a little higher. I've got sunshine. No, that's not quite. I've got sunshine. By a couple of tries, you'll eventually remember where that note is, to the point where you just know where to aim. I'll give you one more analogy. I know there's a lot of analogies, metaphors, but I love these stories because I think that's what us teachers can do. Like, we all have different experiences. I used to play basketball when I was a kid, and I thought I was really good. I was not. But in the 5th grade, especially, I remember getting on the court, and I could make every single three-pointer I ever threw. It was just like from the 3-point line, I was money, you know. And what I found later was that I was only making those 3-pointers because the 3-point distance was exactly as hard as I could throw. It was like just exactly the right length of just all my effort would always be the 3-point distance. And although nowadays I need to have the control to be able to shoot, like after those years, I could never really get the same amount of accuracy because I would always overthrow it, underthrow it. But for that moment, I could give my max, and my max would be the correct amount. That's what you want to work at with your singing. Like, if it's the highest note that you got, then just go for it because you know that it's always going to feel somewhat right. And then the other thing about finding your notes is that our voices are very magnetic in the way that if you've ever back in the days we used to sing in choirs, you could easily fit in the crowd and sing along and pretty much hit the right notes that everybody else is hitting, even if you don't consider yourself a good singer. That's because our voices are engineered to sympathetically follow someone else's voice. That's why it's hard to sing harmonies, if you've ever sung harmony, because you're immediately magnetically attracted to singing the same voice as the same note as someone else. So one, it's good to find someone, on YouTube that sings in your range, so you're constantly singing and matching their voice when you sing. That's number one. Other thing is, if you remember fairly where the voice goes in a song, and you keep practicing going to that same, ballpark place, you will get better at singing on tune at that thing, and your body remembers, and whether you're good at impressions or not, you can certainly copy someone's voice and say like, oh, I'm speaking like this person, or I remember that voice. Singing is the same way. It's the same musculature. It's the same skills. So it's all about listening, emulating, and then trying it again until you're better at it. The best singers are not necessarily the most vocally, it doesn't take a lot of building muscles to like sing on key. It takes a lot of building muscles to sing really well, but to sing on key, it doesn't take that much. All it takes is the quickness to get to the right note. If I hear a note and I go, okay, I got the note. Tomorrow, try it again. And then tomorrow, try it again. Even that time, I didn't hit it directly. I just moved to the note. And pretty soon, you just go gravitate to that note. All right, that's a lot of talk about notes. I'm just burning the time for playing. Let's do 2 more. So let's take it to 11. Got the kid on the cartoons. It looks like she's doing okay. So let's do 2 songs here to end our time here. This is every second Wednesday. We do a beginner jam out of our Albany Uke book. Shout out to my students at the Albany Community Center. For allowing me really to put this book together over the course of playing with this group at the Albany Community Center. I've compiled all of our kind of beginner songs and all of our easy tunes and put it all together in this compilation. So this is something available online. Check out the links in the description. Make sure you have it. All right, let's see. I wanted to do a little bit of blues, so let's do Mustang Sally since we haven't done that in a while. Something to wake me up this week. This is Mustang Sally, and it's got the C, F, and the G7, just like Stand By Me has G7. And the nice thing about blues is that whatever blues you learn, there's really only 3 chords you need to learn. So if you're learning any blues songs, it's minimal effort on the chord front. It's just all about soul. Like how much soul can you inject in the song, because the chords are simple. So we're gonna go ahead and do Mustang Sally here, and this is gonna be the same strum pattern as Just the Way You Are. This is why I like this song. Sometimes we do a blues like Hound Dog, which is fun, but that's kind of the standard strum pattern. This one gets into rock strum, one of my favorite strums, and once you master some form of the rock strum, whether it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, or 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, or the advanced one, any of those strum patterns will work in this song. But ultimately, there's a lot of time and a lot of the same chord. There's a lot of C chord in this song. So as you're going, see if you can improvise or make up a different kind of pattern. It's just some mixture of downs and down ups, and you can have a lot of fun with this. And if you're a little bit on the advanced level, you break it into the intermediate and you know how to chuck, good time to try the chuck. Good time to try to incorporate that as well, because again, you have oodles of time for this song. The band's got you for this song, so just explore the space. Feel free to practice different strum patterns. See if you can find some fun things to do while we're jamming this. Now, speaking of fun things to do, I'm gonna put this. Let's see. Oh yeah, we got some room right here. This is really my favorite thing to teach, if you haven't already found out. My favorite thing to teach is improvisation and simple scales on the ukulele. And this all it requires is memorizing a couple of numbers at a time. One reason why I switched from guitar to ukulele is because ukulele is a lot easier to teach, and it's actually a lot easier to remember the scales. I could never remember my guitar scales. There are 6 strings. I like tank out at 3. It's like, I can't memorize that. It's like I can only memorize a certain amount of digits at a time. So, blues scales. That's funny. Blues scale. So this is tab, if you're unfamiliar. I put the letters here too to remind you what we're talking about. So the bottom string, let's call it an A string, and oddly enough, that is the top string of the text. So the top is the bottom. I know it's confusing, but here's the A string. 6, 3, 1 is all you remember. 6th fret, find it. 3rd fret, find it. 1 fret, find it. Best way to do it is to pinky and index these 2 notes. Pinky 6, index 3, and then jump down to 1. And all you have to do is just remember those 3 numbers on the A string, and you're gold. Because those are the only ones that you need to play when you're jamming. When you're being the next Carlos Santana, that's what you're doing. All right, on the E string, a little bit different. Next string up, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to use all 3 fingers. 3, 2, 1. Really is nice if you can practice doing nice runs like this, 1, 2, 3, or 3, 2, 1. Have a good control over your fingers when you're doing this. Last string, which is the big old C string, is only 2 numbers, 3 and 0. So I use my ring finger, that's the one in charge of the 3rd fret, on the C string, 3, and then 0. And 3 is what I like to call a wiggle note. I can squeeze down that 3 pretty hard and wiggle it down, kind of drag it down. Sounds like a little one of those springs. It sounds like a radio drama sound. And if I squeeze it and pulse it quickly, squeeze it like this, squeeze, 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 it gets a nice wiggle. That's an entry level vibrato. We call that vibrato. And a lot of players will use vibrato to bring out a little more expression in the note. And for string instrument players like violinists, viola players, cellists, that is like, it's a must-have, vibrato. You must be able to do it. It's a little bit different on those instruments, but that's another workshop. Okay, so what do we do with the blues scale? I'm going to lay down actually, yeah, in interest of time, I'm just going to lay down a little bit. C. So all I'm doing for this is I pick a couple of notes at a time. Say I pick the 6 note and the 3 note. I make little patterns. 6, 6, 3, 6, 3. I just pick those 2 notes and I just jam them however I want my ears to hear them. If I want to go to 1, I slide down. If I'm only playing 1 and 3, I can use 2 fingers for that, index and ring. Yeah, that's it right there. All right. So now I'm going to change to the E string, and it's those 3 fingers. Kind of play on that for a little bit. And lastly, the 3-0, and remember that wiggle will add some extra flavor on the C string. And that's it. I'm finding my different, my different notes there, and I like to think of these notes, in a scale, and I can practice them in order. Going backwards or forwards. I want to practice that, pretty good so that I have really good facility over these notes. But I like to think of them as my Scrabble tiles. I'm playing a lot of words with friends these days. It's like those are my choices. I'm going to shuffle them in different orders until I find something that I like, something that my ear likes, and then I can repeat it over and over. The other thing to not shy away from is playing the same note over and over. A lot of times we get so fixated, word of the day, fixated on doing all the notes. We try to do a bunch of notes at the same time. But there's a lot of soul in just playing 2 notes. And so don't be afraid to just stay in one place and really explore those 2 notes, 3 notes, and then move on. All right, so while I'm layering this beginning part, feel free to play the blues scale if you want. If not, you can go ahead and play this intro part right here. All right, so this intro is actually the chord progression for the whole tune, every chord 8 times, and just follow the bouncing ball. Just follow each chord. C for 8, and then C again, and so on. All right, let's do it. Mustang Sally. I want to hear all the Ride Sally rides in your living rooms. That's what I want to hear. All right, here we go. C, 2, 3, go. All right, feel free to take that solo. Ba-ba, C, 3, 4, 5, 6. C, one more. And now the F chord. F again. Back to C here. G7. And then hit the F. Ow! C. Mustang Sally. Think you better slow your Mustang down. All right, here we go, up to F. Mustang Sally. Think you better slow your Mustang down. G7, you've been running all over the town now. Hey, ow! Guess I'll have to put your flat feet on the ground. All you wanna do is ride around Sally. What? Ride, Sally, ride. All you wanna do is ride around Sally. What? Ride, Sally, ride. F. All you wanna do is ride around Sally. Ride, Sally, ride. All you wanna do is ride around Sally. What? Ride, Sally, ride. G7. One of these early mornings. F. Oh, you're gonna be wiping your weeping eyes. All right, so we're gonna take our little solo. 1, 2, 1, 2, solo. Hit it. Oh yeah, move around in that seat a little bit. Here comes the best part. You gotta keep soloing. Keep soloing. Keep going. Even when we stop, keep going. Oh, yeah! Nailed it. So you can keep soloing if you want, or sing it with me. Verse 2. Bought you a brand new Mustang about 1965. Mustang Sally. Think you better slow your Mustang down. You've been running all over the town now. Yeah. Oh. Guess I'll have to put your flat feet on the ground. All you wanna do is ride around Sally. Sing, ride, Sally, ride. All you wanna do is ride around Sally. What? Ride, Sally, ride. All you wanna do is ride around Sally. Ride, Sally, ride. All you wanna do is ride around Sally. Ride, Sally, ride. One of these early mornings. Hit it. Oh, you're gonna be wiping your weeping eyes. All right, fade it out. Slow it down. And rock it. I'm doing a little C7. That's 1 on the bottom right there if you want that blues note in there. One time. All right, let's get one more round of applause from the Zoom room. Thank you, everybody, for spending your, oh, wow, there's a lot of me, spending your Wednesday morning with me. We're going to end with Aloha Oi over here, but I want to shout out to you, our Zoom community. Definitely, if you're not a part of our family already, think about join the mailing list, and we'll do this again Friday, 12 p.m. for the Aloha Friday Jam. It'll be a little bit more difficult with some difficult chords, but I'll tell you, every jam, there will be a C chord. So you have no excuse. You have no excuse not to go to the jam because we're going to play a chord that you know. So you're all right. It's going to be okay. So we'll end today with Aloha Oi, getting us into the Aloha spirit here. And this one is just, it's a G song. So it's actually, yes, it is. So C, G, D7, G. Pretty much the whole time. Add the G7 if you're fancy. I'll put the little split screen here. There are the chords. And if you're a tabber, this is a great one to start on. Or if you're interested in picking, you see those same 4 lines. This first 2 right here is on the C string. And then these are on the E string. And this is on the A string. So just to get you started there. Aloha Oi if you want to pick through it at your own leisure. Otherwise, very simple progression. C, G, D7, G. Pretty much you could get by with these first 4 chords, and then there's a little alteration of a G7. Some people find that hard because changing from G to G7 can be difficult. All right, and I'll just loop that to start out. This is our Aloha to everybody. Thank you for spending these first 2 weeks of the month with me. If you're a part of the Ukulele Jumpstart program, you're graduating today. C, G, D7, back to G, G7 if you want, back to C. Get that bass in there. This feels like SNL at the end of the show. Everyone's waving goodbye and giving hugs. All right, aloha. Aloha, oi. Aloha, oi. Eke ona, ona no. Ikalipo. One fine embrace before I depart until we meet again. Then pick it. Sing it one more time. Aloha. Aloha. Oi. Aloha. Oi. Eke ona ona no ikalipo. One fond embrace before I depart. Until we meet again. Until we meet again. All right, that's our show. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you Friday at at 12 p.m. Pacific. And till then, take care of yourselves. Stay safe. Ukan. And we'll see you again very soon. Bye, everybody. Oh, yeah, did I? Yep. All right. Take care. And to everybody watching on YouTube, thank you for tuning in. Please do hit that like, subscribe button. Do what you do, what the kids are doing these days on YouTube, whatever it is you do. Comment. Thank you, everybody, for the all the wonderful comments in the live chat. I see Nick, Michelle. Who else didn't I shout out? Eliana, is that right? Man, my eyes. Yeah, Eliana. Thank you so much. Manik. Thank you for tuning in for this broadcast. We do the Ukulele Jumpstart program every first 2 Wednesdays of the month. So first Wednesday, Ukulele Jumpstart course, you know, beginner to 60, 0 to 60 in 60 minutes. And then this one is the beginner jam where we play more songs. And also we have time for question and answers. So it's a good time to check in with our beginners and see what you want to learn. All right. Take care of yourselves. Tune in on Facebook, not here. Don't go to YouTube. Go to Facebook on Friday, 12 p.m. Pacific for the Aloha Friday Jam. We'll do some Halloween tunes and some island jams as well. Peace. Ah, thanks, Jerry. Thank you. Thank you. Oh yeah, we gotta go to Halloween. This is our. We gotta practice this. I have to disappear now. Bye, cruel world. And scene.